Okay, unmuted. Oh my goodness, man. I'm sorry I'm late, bro. Wait, oh shit, my 3DS is off in the background. Hold up. Hold up. Let me mute my 3DS right now. Let me just grab my earbuds. You know what? For background music, should have kept silent and let him read on mute. That'd be funny. Like today for music, for background music, you guys are gonna be hearing some Fire Emblem. Oh, like you guys can see. Oh, you guys can see the chapter. Don't look. Hell yeah. Have any of you guys seen one of these bad boys? Damn, look at that. Bam! Bam! Bet you guys haven't seen one of these in a while. Ooh. 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 Nah, it's my old one. I've been playing it again recently. I just got back into my 3DS. It's easier carrying around my 3DS than it is carrying around the fucking Switch 2, since it's so much fucking bigger. Oh, man. I need to be wired right away. I need to be awake right away. You promise to read all of Volume 5, Milosh? Hey, bro. I'm trying to play Monster Hunter, dude. Hey, I did promise that, but you gotta help me compromise, man. These fucking new 9-star investigations are kicking my ass, dude. But it's so fucking fun, bro. It's crazy. Gorg Magala kicks my fucking ass, bro. That shit is hard. I ran into a Japanese player. Fucking, he was playing Bard. He went full support. This bitch was like the greatest healer I've ever run into in Monster Hunter. It was crazy. All right, let me open up my music playlist. It was wild, bro. When we were going up against Gore, fucking 9-star investigation with 5 strength. That shit is crazy. You suddenly missed your DS? Dude, I've had this DS since 2016. I've had this DS for like 9 years, man. I can't find it right now. Hold up. Let me get the music ready. But yeah, dude, I bought like this Pikachu skin that I've had for like 9 years on, and I just took it off right now. That's why my 3DS looks that's why my 3DS basically looks brand new. It's literally because I've had a case on for like 8-9 years, and I'm trying to keep it nice and perfect. A part of me kind of wants to never mind. And Minecraft, I'd like to in Minecraft I'd like to put on like whatever's the new custom homebrew. Yeah, but in Minecraft, not in the real world Nintendo Ninjas, but in Minecraft, I'd like to kind of mess around with it. But I feel like I need another DS. That way, I have like my good one, and then I have like the not good one. You know, if you catch what I mean in Minecraft, it looks even better than Switch. Not gonna lie, yeah, it's good, dude. I love it. Now, what would have been badass is if they actually low-key made the Switch 2 like dockable on the original Switch, right? And then you actually have like a fucking 3DS, right? Like there's like a hinge or whatever, because now there's like a top port. There's a top port on your DS. There's a top port on the Switch 2, and then you connect the top port to the bottom port, right? And then bam, you get like 2 switches, and then it's like a fucking 3DS. That would have been so badass. But that'd be such a gimmicky thing. All right, let's get reading. Yeah, man. Wait, hold up. Before I start, let me just tell you why I'm late. Yeah, in Minecraft, dude, I lost my fucking right earbud on my AirPods. Stop stalling. I know you're over 160 chapters behind. I know, man. But I lost my... Dude, I felt like Geralt to Rivia today. Don't worry. I'm fixing up my timestamps on it right. Chapter's ready. 991. Yeah, I felt like Geralt to Rivia, man. I lost my fucking right earbud, and I had to, like, close my eyes and, like, hit the play sound when I was able to track it. And I'm, like, trying to close my eyes and kind of, like, pinpoint where it is. Oh, my God. I spent, like, fucking 30 minutes. But let's keep reading. Can you play the songs I linked in your DMs, Smokey? Let me see. Let's see. Mr. Isful, I have a question for everyone. What does everyone mainly use their phone for, since I'm planning to switch to a flip phone to stop my phone addiction? Bro, I just keep my phone on Do Not Disturb all day, bro. That's how I do it, man. That's like the best way to like avoid all that. Wait, when did you DM me? I don't see a DM. My internet was down. I don't see a DM from you, Smokey. No, I don't think your DM went through if you DM me. If you want, I mean, we'll double check later at the end of the stream if it's copyright free. It was yesterday. What the fuck? Username Wiz. What's your name on? No, I don't see you on Discord, bro. Try resending it. Maybe it didn't go through. I could play it at the end of stream, and then we'll just see if it's safe to play. And if there's no like claim or anything, then we should be able to go. Even the internet is bad in France. All right, let's get reading. You know what? That's a good way to start our our VOD for today, Milosh. Even the internet is bad in France. Wow. Today, we're gonna be streaming for like 2 hours. I know Wiz goes live in like an hour or so. So that way we can help with the double ravings. We'll try not to overlap too much. But we'll see one chapter plus a few more. So today's stream, we're gonna restart from We're gonna resume from chapter 991. A ritual without a reply. And before we start, we can't forget our honorific. The raider who stalls for eternity. The tamer of beasts and dogs. The one who farms LOTM. Easy geeky. Alright, I hope you guys are ready. Pause and let's play. Actually, we're not even gonna pause. Right here, let's do it live. We're gonna do it at 1 minute. 1 minute is the next chapter, 991. A ritual without a reply. That's okay. I only need you easy. Amen. I only need you guys, all right? So it's all good. After ending the private communication, Klein made the world German Sparrow look at Katlia. Please inform... Oh, yeah, we never finished the Terror Club. Please inform Queen Mystic that I wish to meet her to talk about something. The exact time and location is up to her. Queen Mystic, so ma'am, Herbert represents the royals above the 5 seas. Leonardo was taken aback before he came to realization. What's the matter? Katlia frowned slightly in a wary manner. You could do Reverend Insanity Manhwa chapter 5 like you saw on Twitter. Oh shit, that was you. Yeah. So we're missing chapter 4 and 5. Yeah, we can do that then. Yeah, once Wiz goes live, we'll try and be done with like a little bit over 5 chapters so we don't overlap with him. And then I might have to do that off stream. No, I can do it on stream with you guys. Since manhwas are okay. Yeah, I just had to leave it private for a little bit and then maybe just cut that part out after the stream. I think I'll be fine. We'll see. But then once the video is up, it's okay. Then that part will still be up. Overlap with Wiz. Overlap with him. Queen Mystic, so ma'am, Hermit represents the royals above the 5 sea. Leonardo was first taken aback before he came to realization. What's the matter? Katlia frowned slightly in a worry manner. I will forward her your intentions, but I cannot provide any guarantees over her agreement. Okay, the world German Sparrow nodded, simply indicating that it was fine. At this moment, Derek finally had an opportunity as he asked everyone. He glanced at Mr. Hanged Man and Mr. World before continuing. The ritual needed for me to advance to Priest of Light requires pure darkness. Oh, well... That does not sound like a good idea in the City of Silver. That's not good. I need to bury my entire body in ice that usually doesn't melt. In the City of Silver, such ice isn't difficult to find. However, how do we create pure but safe darkness? You can't. So that's the Priest of Light's advancement ritual. Little Sun sure is honest and simple. Due to her lack of experience and knowledge, Audrey was unable to provide any substantial suggestions. All she could do was cast her eyes at the person that believed was capable of resolving the problem. The world German Sparrow. At this moment, the world raised his hands to pinch his temples. As for the Klein, he was rapidly trying to think of a solution. Sigh. If this were the outside world, pure darkness is extremely easy to obtain. Ice that normally doesn't melt would be the most troublesome thing to obtain. But the City of Silver is complete opposite. Their darkness is too dangerous. Just being within it will result in one's disappearance or suffering the attacks of strange monsters. What are we supposed to do? I can get Leonard to provide charms for the Evernight's domain, and then I can stir some of the powers of mysterious space above the Grey Fog. Using Little Sun's prayers, I can provide an area of artificial darkness. And artificial darkness would technically still be pure darkness, even though it's artificial. But the problem lies in me being unable to determine if it would bring the normal danger the City of Silver encounters. This is not something that can be answered via divination. When matters do not involve myself, I can only determine if the matter is dangerous or not, when the matter should be done, and under such situations there are too many elements involved and the sources of danger are diverse. Yes, so Summoner Rhodes later and asked, a client had previously been considered a problem over Little Sun's advancement, but he had never been able to find an answer. Seeing the world silent, Leonard, who originally wanted to say that creating pure darkness is extremely easy, slowly shut his mouth. He began pondering over the sun's words and caught notice of a world that he had ignored. Safe. In the Forsaken Lands of Gods and the City of Silver, darkness is equivalent to danger. Leonard roughly grasps the key idea, but due to the lack of his understanding, he was unable to provide any suggestions. Finally, it was Alger who spoke. He glanced at Derek and said, I will help you gather information, seek out solutions, but in the process, you might need to provide some help to confirm that it can be done. No problem, Derek answered without any hesitation. Right on the heels of that, he added, there's no need to rush to it. I still have about a month before I can finish digesting my notoriety potion. Alger nodded gently, indicating that this wasn't something that needed any reminder. At this moment, Count Leah deliberated for a moment and said to Derek, perhaps we can consider this problem from another angle. Your advancement ritual wouldn't last too long. We can simply increase the time you can survive in pure darkness to resolve this matter. I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, you can't stay that long? It's okay, love. We'll have the video up right away. Pinky promise. I remember that you've mentioned that after being left in darkness with zero light, there are two dangers. The first would be attack from the strange monsters that came from the unknown origins, and the second would be a baffling instance of disappearance that is akin to evaporating. Evaporating, huh. The former situation is easy to resolve. You can make a request to the chief for certain sealed artifacts, or you can get him to stand guard by your side. As for the second case, I do not know enough. You can attempt to ask your chief. Derek thought about it carefully and suddenly felt that this was a viable train of thought with a rather significant chance of success. He immediately replied in pleasant surprise, thank you, ma'am, Hermit. The exchange and learning session continued until the gathering slowly came to an end. Seeing that it was almost done, the fool Klein rapped gently on the table's corners. Let's end it here for today. Your wish is our will. Audrey and company stood and bowed reverently. I almost mispronounced that. Reverently. After he vanished from above the Great Fall, Klein left the area and returned to the real world. He first took out his wallet and got the paper crane, which was folded by Will Austin. Spread it across the table. He picked up a pencil and simply wrote, "There's something." After folding the paper crane and stuffing it under his pillow, Klein got into bed and generally took an afternoon nap. In his hazy dream, he once again saw the pitch-black plains and towering steeple. Passing through the plains and through the wooden doors, Klein arrived at the familiar corner. A black pram came out of the thick shadows as Will Austin, wrapped in silver silk, sucked at his right thumb, and Derek angrily, "You are getting more and more impolite." Klein laughed dryly and said, "With our relationship, there's no need for such pleasantries, right?" Will Austin harumphed and said, "Speak, what's the matter?" "That is the thing. I recently encountered a Mon's avatar," Klein said directly. The baby's mouth widened a little as though he was about to cry. It took him great effort to control himself as he said, "I haven't been born for more than a month. There's nothing I need from you. I only wish to ask you a question," Klein quickly added. Will Austin raised his and waved it. "What is it?" Klein immediately said with a smile. "Amon's avatar can steal the destiny of others?" That's crazy. Did stream crash on my end? Oh my god. One sec. Reconnecting. It disconnected on my end, but it's reconnecting. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, we're good. We're good. Woo, 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 I got a little scared. Wait, my card fell. Give me a sec. Only thing I don't like, charging, but it's only a minor inconvenience. Give me a sec. This is not it. Try and get that glow. Okay, perfect. All right, let's keep reading. All right, stream reconnected. I was right here. The baby's mouth widened a little as though he was about to cry. It took him great effort to control himself as he said, "I haven't been born for more than a month. There's nothing I need from you. I only wish to ask you a question," Klein quickly added. Will Austin raised his fleshy arms and waved it. "What is it?" Klein immediately said with a smile, "Amon's avatar can steal the destiny of others and appear while replacing their identities. I wish to know how I can see through such a terrifying matter. What did you think of episode 19 and 20 to Be Hero X? I haven't watched them yet." Oh, wait. This is installing. But after we're done with Lord of the Mysteries, I do plan to go back and finish and catch up with 2B Hero X. I just haven't done it yet just because it takes so long to watch it. I haven't had that much time to just sit down and watch them. But I do plan to continue it. Don't worry. I stopped at episode 12. But I did see a snippet that I think Queen and Hero, or Queen and Nice, they looked at each other. And people said Queen is just really strong. But I don't know anything besides that. But I do plan to continue. Don't worry. We will continue it. Most likely after we're done with Lord of the Mysteries, or in between, if I have time, I can watch the episodes and then record it and upload it. It's going to take a little bit longer than usual. Just since we've been kind of doing only Lord of the Mysteries right now. So, yeah, we're almost done with it. We're almost done. Will Ossiton chuckled as he pointed up at the sky with his index finger, pray for help. From the looks of it, using the powers of the Grey Fall can be used to discover the grafting. It's called grafting. Grafting of destiny. Klein heaved a sigh of relief as he felt even more certain. When he thought of word using, he was referring to using his marionette to pray to the fool while he entered above the gray fog. Through the point of light representing his believers, he could survey the surroundings area to seek out any abnormalities. In a sense, this was equivalent to the fool's observation and equivalent to augmented true vision. But the problem is that I can stay above the gray fog to observe for gratifying all the time. It might be the case that in between two of the observation periods, a mon could have entered Buckland Street and have done something. Klein thought before asking with some deliberation, anything you would like to remind me of? Will Ossiton turned his head without looking at him as he mumbled, you have to visit me and my parents once this week during high tea? You have to visit me and my parents once this week during high tea. No problem. Klein agreed without any... Is high tea like high noon? Like at noon? Is that like tea time? Klein agreed without any hesitation. Only then did the baby turn his head back and giggle. Next week around Wednesday or Thursday, there might be some changes in your destiny. Fuck. Are we gonna... Oh, shit. Are we gonna face off against Amon? There might be some changes, because if he's grafting his destiny, then I guess that makes sense. Is that so? Klein nodded and thought as he watched the black pram slowly retreat into the shadows. After waking up from his dream, he packed up his items and began setting up an altar without any rest. This time, the target of his prayer was the Evernight goddess herself and not artificial death. This was to prevent Amon from prying into the source of the stirring via the changes in destiny and thus noticing something wrong. How could the Evernights blessed be praying to artificial death? After setting up the ritual, Klein wiped his face and turned it into the cold-looking German sparrow, causing his height to drop a little lower. After igniting the first two candles in front, Klein made an ordinary candle representing himself burn with a yellow flame. There were two candles in front. One was a candle made of night vanilla and slumber power to represent Evernight, and the other was a candle made up of white chestnut flowers and wild rose to represent concealment. Okay, mother concealment. Okay, that makes sense. Following that, he created a wall of spirituality, dripped the full moon essential oils, and burned some herbal powder that pleased the goddess. Bit by bit, he completed the ritual. Towards the end, Klein took 2 steps back, activated his spirit vision, and chanted softly, I pray for the power of the dark night. The Dark Knight? Good movie. I pray for the power of the mystery. I pray for the goddess's loving grace. I encountered Blaspher Amon's avatar in Backland. He was gathering the characteristics of a marauder pathway. I can't believe we're actually fucking praying to her. Are we gonna get a response? I thought it said revenge. I seek for the blessings of concealment so as to complete the mission of eradicating the blasphemer's avatar. Vanilla, a herb that belonged to the red moon, please pass my supplication to the goddess. Moonflower, a herb that belongs to the red moon, please pass my supplication to the goddess. After he was done chatting, Klein patiently waited for a while, but nothing happened. There wasn't any reply. The goddess is a critical period of gaining control over the death's pathway. Wait. The goddess is in a critical period of gaining control over the death's pathway, uniqueness, and is unable to respond beyond anything normal. Should I try to pray to artificial death? After all, if there are the blessed of concealment, Amon wouldn't be able to see it. That makes sense. You wouldn't be able to see it. If it doesn't, then the source of stirring destiny wouldn't point to me. Klein frowned little by little as he entered the ritual and cleared the altar. He felt that he needed to find other solutions. After he finished clearing the desk and turned around, prepared to head for the reclining chair, to figure out suddenly appeared in front of him. The figure wore a simple linen robe with signs of patching. Wait, what? After he finished clearing the desk and turned around, prepared to head for the reclining chair, a figure suddenly appeared in front of him. The figure wore a simple linen robe with signs of patching. By the figure's waist was a belt made of tree bark. Raven black hair cascaded down freely as the figure's feet didn't wear any socks or shoes, making them covered in dust and wounds. Evernight? It was a lady? 017 or wait, it was a lady. She had extremely normal facial features. Her ghostly black eyes, Sharon? Her ghostly black eyes were no different from the common person, but just looking at her left Klein feeling a sense of extreme peace and serenity. Even though feelings of alarm rose up within him, they were unable to overpower the peacefulness. Who the fuck is this? Why is this called a Rhodes congratulation? It's not a Rhodes. I'm sorry. Oh, wow. My internet just went out. My internet actually went out. Are we back? Okay, my internet actually went out on my end. It said we were offline. All my tabs just closed. Just keep reading. Okay, we're back. Stream's back. Stream's back. All right, we keep reading. Stream's back. All right, let me do my timestamp. 12 minutes. 16 seconds. Wow, I'm wide awake, which is good. I spaced out my coffee. I spaced out my protein drink that had another cup of caffeine, like 1 cup of caffeine. And I spread out my G Fuel, so I'm like completely good. So we're good. And I feel like I read like at a normal pace. I didn't read too fast, too slow. And we're doing good. Only 12 minutes recording. Okay, this is a good pace. Really damn good pace. 992. All right, now we keep reading. Chapter 992 is called Erodes Congratulations. You are. Klein asked in a rather complicated state of calmness. The lady in the simple robe nodded and said, Ariana, the fuck? A servant of concealment? Wait, is this supposed... Oh, shit. Wait. Is servant of concealment sequence 1? Attendant of mysteries. No, I'm sorry. No, that does not make sense. Wait. Oh, my is disconnecting on my end. I apologize. We're just going to keep reading. We're going to keep reading. We're doing it live. We should connect back. Ariana, servant of concealment. Servant of concealment, Ariana, Klein's eyes constricted as he knew who the lady was. Bro, what is going on? Arms. Oh, it's a text reaction now. Easy types in chat his thoughts. Oh my goodness, man. Holy shit. This is a fucking cursed stream. Why is my internet so bad today? The lady of concealment is too strong. Stream keeps crashing. I apologize. That stream is crashing. But you know what? Take that as like we're breaking the fourth wall. The lady of concealment or the servant of concealment, haters DDoSing. No. It's Ariana, dude. Servant of concealment. She's just that strong. Servant of concealment, Ariana, Klein's eyes constricted as he knew who the lady was. As a former Nighthawk, how could he not be aware of the name Ariana? I don't remember. Ariana? From the Nighthawks? She was the Evernight Cloister's matrone, head of the 13 archbishops, a likely candidate for the future pope? What? Regardless of which identity she had, she was part of the general knowledge that couldn't be avoided in religious studies and mysticism. As for the name servant of concealment, Klein had read about an Emperor's diary. This has to be sequence 1 or something. Like, just how, like, we have attendant of mystery sequence 1 before the full. Maybe there's, like, the servant of concealment or whatever. Meanwhile, based on the law beyond the characteristics of conservation with a sequence 0 in existence, it meant that the attendant of mysteries couldn't be a sequence 1? Wait. What? Let me read this. As for the name servant of concealment, Klein had read about it at Emperor's diary, considering the similar name of the attendant of mysteries. He suspected that this pointed to an angel. Meanwhile, based on the law beyond her character's conservation, with a sequence 0 in existence, it meant that the attendant of mysteries couldn't be a sequence 1 angel. Therefore, Klein believed that the servant of concealment was likely sequence 2 of the Evernight pathway. It isn't the goddesses didn't reply, but she used a very special way to respond. She directly sent her servant over. Klein felt mixed emotions that could hardly be described. There's Evernight. He fell silent for a few seconds before giving a solemn bow. Good afternoon, your evidence. In the various churches of a demigod at the angel level walk the land, there was a need to address them as your evidence. As a show of respect, likewise towards the pontiff, pope, the patriarch, representatives of deities, one had to use your holiness. In addition, a church head was synonymous with the Holy See of the Apostolic See. Of course, many a time, the Holy See could also represent the church's headquarters itself. Stream is getting reasonably developed with lag. I know. I think we're getting back. Have to watch at 144p using cell data. 50. Oof. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. Don't worry. We'll have the video up right away. Ariana tapped her chest 4 times. Yeah, this is a really bad stream experience. I think we keep DCing, so I apologize. Ariana tapped her chest 4 times in a clockwise fashion and replied in a poised manner. May the goddess bless you. She then turned. I'm an ascetic. You can just call me ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Ariana. Klein didn't insist. Ariana looked at him calmly for 2 seconds and directly asked, "You plan to deal with Blasphemer Amon's avatar in Backland?" "Yes, I wish to obtain the blessings of concealment," Klein frankly replied. At this moment, he felt stumped because this was different from what he had expected. He originally expected the goddess to answer by blessing him, then he and Palazaros could join forces to wipe out all of Amon's avatar in Backland. During this process, it wouldn't expose Leonardo the Marauder Pathway Angel, but now with the blessings becoming something corporeal that would be involved in battle, Palazaros would immediately be discovered once he took action. When that happened, it was hard to predict what would ensue. "Don't tell me I don't need to ally with Palazaros. I only get him to provide intel and then split some of the spoils of war." Klein's thought rapidly ran through his mind as Ariana spoke unhurriedly. "I can provide the power consumed to shield everything that happens from the prying of fate." Holy shit, dude. "However, I cannot guarantee that I can eliminate all of Amon's avatars in Backland. So if even one piece of air particle that he's possessing can get through, he will find out, okay?" Palazaros said that he has the means of doing so. The person who understands Amon the best is indeed a sequence 1 of the same pathway. Klein thought and said, "Ma'am Ariana, I have already come up with a well-thought-out plan. All you need to do is provide the power concealment. You do not need to be involved in an actual battle. Leave the rest to me." Ariana nodded and raised her right arm as she spread her palm. Points of light lit up, profound and resplendent, as he quickly outlined and embedded in her palm. Damn, dude, is good. This emblem was completely crystallized as though it was made of obsidian. It made one realize its existence when looking at it, but it appeared to vanish when not looking at it. "This is my Evernight coat of arms. It doesn't possess any characteristics or power by itself. The only use is that when triggered, it will establish a connection with me regardless of where." I explained simply, "Before you begin your operation, remember to use it. I will provide you with the power concealment. If you need more direct assistance, use Ancient Hermes to chant Ariana when triggering it." Hello. Sorry, I think it's disconnecting. "This is equivalent to an itemized altar ritual that points to her. Oh, at that level, an angel, the range of responding to prayers has extended to the entire..." Wait. "Oh, at that level of angel, the range of responding to prayers has extended to the entire world." We are literally... Yes. The lag is literally because of Ariana. The Badoon is attacking. I'm telling you, man. Lady of Concealment. Klein instantly grasped the true nature of the Evernight coat of arms. As a bizarre sorcerer, he did not have the means to reply to prayers. This was a trait that could be obtained only at sequence 3, so we have to go one more up. Of course, as Sea God in the Fool, he was very well versed in such matters. Klein didn't stand on ceremony as he accepted it and bowed sincerely. "Thank you." After saying that, he tapped 4 spots in a clockwise manner on his chest, forming the sign of the Crimson Moon. Praise the lady. This way, he could still join forces with Palazaros as long as he triggered the Evernight coat of arms without using Ancient Hermes to chant Ariana's name. Everything would be fine. "Praise the lady," Ariana replied piously. "Has Easy heard of Wiz's hype of Volume 5 finish?" I haven't heard his hype. I did see Romero, like, his nemesis is, or what was it? His enemy is finished. No, his rival is finishing 5 today. I'm like, son of a bitch, he fucking finished. "Her figure then vanished as though she had been..." But I haven't heard his hype yet. This is... Wait, "Her figure then vanished as though she had been erased by an eraser. This is departure by entering a concealed state." Klein pursed his lips in thought. I'm sorry, is there any artwork on Ariana? I'm down to look at it if it's not spoiler... If it's spoiler-free. Meanwhile, he was filled with a suspicious over Ariana's swift arrival. After all, the Evernight Pathway wasn't very well versed in the methods of such as teleport, so somebody's been watching him so far. To go from Winter County all the way to Backland required a significant amount of time. "My ritual isn't the kind of praise for a direct descendant. Could it be that Ma'am Ariana happened to be in the vicinity? Coincidence? In the Backland Diocese, isn't that too much of a coincidence?" Is Adam involved? Bro, his entire chat was green from gifting members? Really? Damn, that sounds fucking hype. Really? Is Volume 5 that good? Bet. I'm hype. Shit. I'm like, what, 150 off before we finish? "If it isn't one, it only serves to exaggerate the problem. What is she doing in Backland? The undercurrents are stirring." Klein retracted his gaze and patiently waited for a while before turning back into Dwayne Dantes. He found a pen and some paper once again and drew the symbol that was a mixture of concealment and mystery prying. When the final stroke was written, the full body mirror in the master bedroom produced a dark but pure light as though a silent undercurrent was surging out from the bottom of a lake. Right on the heels of that, fireworks appeared, bursting in the sky. Color of gold, silver, red, and blue exploded as words formed in the mirror. Welcome back, great master. Your humble servant in Rhodes has witnessed the retrieval of a portion of your authority. I'm thrilled that you are gradually recovering your aura. He's recovering his aura. You will eventually return to your supreme position and make the entire world turn silent under your watch. You will eventually return to your supreme position and make the entire world turn silent under your watch. Holy shit, he really is going to be able to envelop the entire world with a gray fog. Based on Rhodes, I think that's hinting at how strong he's going to be. I really think he's going to be able to cover like all of the world with a gray fog. Okay, and it might be a ritual for him to go back home. To go back home and not die or anything, just to go back home. This is really passionate. There's always something new. Klein nodded in silence. Amidst the fireworks, those words dissipated and formed into a new sentence. Great master, what instructions do you have for me? I have a question, Klein said calmly. In a place where being in darkness can result in danger, how should one create a safe but pure darkness? There are two kinds of dangers involved. One, it will make a person directly vanish into the darkness, and two, it will cause strange monsters to appear and attack. The fireworks and the full body mirror calmed down as aqueous lights rippled. Silver word surfaced one after another. Great master, are you referring to the Forsaken Lands of God? So those streamers are in the stalling pathway. If I won't be sleeping at the time that I do hope to see similar hype in your stream, bet. A few months? What do you mean? A few weeks? Come on, Mick. Don't underestimate me. When we lock in, we lock in. This magic mirror actually knows quite a lot. He also gave me a free question. A few months? Give me a few days or a few weeks. He also gave me free question passing. Klein nodded and said, that's right. Without any breaks in between, a Rhodes full body mirror produced new lines of lowness text. The formation of the Forsaken Lands of Gods is related to the second creator's fall. The danger of night then stems from the transformation of the two essential powers. First, it is the remnants of Evernight Goddess' divine power. Second, it's the influence left behind by the creator. He wielded partial authority over shadows, darkness, fallen, corruption, and mutation. The former makes creatures vanish into the air, while the latter produces monsters in the darkness. So the two types of dangers stem from different powers. It's no wonder that there's such huge differences. Rhodes called the ancient sun god the second creator. This is very close to my theory. Amon and Adam's father isn't the reawakening of the... This is very close to my... Wait. Rhodes called the ancient sun god the second creator. Okay. This is very close to my theory. So he's not a reincarnation, but like something new from when he was Eden in the depiction. Amon and Adam's father isn't the reawakening of the original creator. Okay, that's confirmed. But a transmigrator? Wait, how do we get to that? Give me 3 weeks, Eric. Come on. Come on, give me some credit. Give me 3 weeks. Give me till the end of the month and we will get close. But a transmigrator who inherited a huge inheritance. Klein asked and thought, in that case, the Evernight Goddess was involved in the fall of the second creator? Wait, how is he coming down to the conclusion that he's a transmigrator? How does being the second creator confirm that he's a transmigrator who inherited a huge inheritance? In that case, the Evernight Goddess was involved in the fall of the second creator, so it's confirming Evernight was involved in his downfall. Okay. This was something Klein had vaguely expected. This was from the trait of humans evaporating in the darkness of the Forsaken Land of Gods. It's very similar to the strange disappearance. It's similar to the strange disappearances if one didn't sleep at night in the ruins of the Battle of Gods, and that's connected to the Foggy Town. And based on Little Sun's description, King of the demonic wolves Flagero, who wielded control over the Evernight and concealment authorities, had long perished in the second epoch. It was impossible that he had done it. Therefore, unless there was another deity of the Evernight pathway born in the middle, it was difficult for the two abnormalities to not have the Evernight Goddess involved. Bro, man, Klein is so fucking smart. I would not be able to figure this out. I genuinely would be too dumb to figure this out. On the surface of the mirror, the silver light rapidly converged, forming a short sentence. That's right. Rhodes, that's right. Good job, Great Master. That's right. Klein was just about to press on when he immediately shut up. He had just recalled one of his identities, Bless of the Evernight. Therefore, even without anyone watching him, he had to show respect to the deity and not seek out reveling secrets. Of course, time and mysterious space above the gray fog was excluded. He was just about to focus on the main question from before to urge Rhodes to list out solutions when he saw the silver words in the full-body mirror change. Great Master, your loyal servant Rhodes wishes a small favor from you. Can we not discuss matters regarding the Evernight Goddess? What? Is Rhodes chickening out? What's he hiding? Or is he just scared to talk about her? At the end of the question, a simple stick figure was drawn. A stick figure? Or we're playing Hanged Man or what? Are we playing Hanged Man? Just as I wish, Klein did we're gonna play Hangman. Guess the letters. Just as I wish, Klein deliberately pondered for 2 seconds and said, "Okay." The silver swirls on the surface of the mirror immediately turned brisk as words began taking form. As for the question you asked, there are also 2 solutions. One is to accept the corruption. And let oneself transform into monsters of darkness. The reason why the creatures do not vanish into thin air during the night is because they had received the protection of the fallen authority. This way, all the darkness is equivalent to safety. Wait, what? One is to accept the corruption. No, we cannot let Derek accept the corruption. That sounds like bad news. And let one transform into monsters of darkness. No, we're not doing that. The reason why these creatures do not vanish into thin air during the night is because they have received the protection of the fallen authority. And I assume the fallen authority is the Abyss's authority or the Abyss's pathway. This way, all the darkness is equivalent to safety. The second is to create darkness that comes within the dream world. Okay, that sounds a lot safer. This would allow the spirit body to receive the protection of the dream, thus slowing down the encroachment of danger at night. Wait, you can do that? You create darkness within the dream world, and that envelops your spirit body. And because your spirit body is attached to your body, you are technically covered in pure darkness. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Man, this series is... This is going up a lot. Oh, up a notch. This series is getting more and more complex as we read. Chapter 993 is called Another Possibility. We will not confirm nor deny. Mommy Evernight Cougar spoke to Little Rhodes. Yo, just send me fan art on her. You guys have been hyping her up with Mommy Rhodes. Oh my god, I just said Mommy Rhodes. Mommy Evernight. I'm sorry. Don't clip that. Let's just copy and paste. Next chapter. 28 minutes. 5 seconds. Fucking Mommy Rhodes. The fuck did I just say? Mommy Rhodes? Get the fuck out of here. I apologize. Luckily, you Rhodes fan art is a girl. Bro, if there's fan art on Rhodes being a girl, send it my way. If Rhodes is like a spicy woman, send it my way. I'm down to look at that. Mommy Rhodes agenda now, I guess. Yes, we're gonna ship Mommy Rhodes 6 Klein. Alright, chapter 993 is called Another Possibility. Another possibility, allowing the spirit body to receive the projection of a dream to slow down the encroachment of danger at night. This is similar to necessity to sleep when night fell in the ruins of the battlefield of gods. So because you're being like blocked by the spirit world's aura, you're like negating the pure darkness in the real world for a few seconds. Okay, so that should be enough time for him to digest. Rhodes is a cute maid. Trust, send the artwork. Also, the powers in the Forsaken Land of Gods likely isn't under the goddess's control. Once one vanishes in the darkness over there, they definitely won't enter the Voggy Town. Where will it point towards? Yeah, where would you go? Or they stay in the same spot, unable to interact with the companions in the real world until they die of starvation or old age. That's a bad way to go. After reading Rhodes' reply, Klein was somewhat enlightened as he roughly grasped the crux of the issue. However, he felt that this wasn't necessarily useful because the sun only requires pure darkness so that he could be buried in ice that normally wouldn't melt to consume the Priest of Light potion. Once he entered a dream, there was no way for him to control his own body to complete the critical step. This way, even if he could remain in darkness for prolonged periods of time, it would be meaningless. Yes, I'll wait until Little Sun asks the chief of the City of Silver before coming up with an actual plan based on his answer. Of course, before that, I can try getting a corresponding solution from Leonardo to figure out how to create darkness within a temporarily dream world. Klein nodded silently, acknowledging the answer provided by the magic mirror. As for the first option of accepting corruption and turning into a monster in the darkness, it wasn't even considered. In an extraordinary world, this was equivalent to committing unaliving, which almost couldn't be reversed. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Upon considering how he still had one question left to ask, Klein deliberated and asked, where can I obtain the potion formula of the Seer Pathway Sequence 5 Scholar of Yore? Damn, Rhodes, give it to me. The full body mirror surface had aqueous light ripples once again as it reflected a dark cathedral without any natural light. Is this like the City of Silver Cathedral? Dark Cathedral? Klein found the scene very familiar as he immediately recalled what it represented. This was where Zaratul, who had turned into a monster, hid. In Foggy Town? Oh, wait, are we going to the real location in Hornicus Mountain Range or within? Wait, however, this time deep inside the cathedral, the cluster of blurry and huge maggots were no longer present. So this is the real location, not Foggy Town. Just as Klein's pupils dilated, the silver words appeared beneath the scene depiction. Great Master Zaratul has vanished. I can't find him. Vanished. Vanished. Klein momentarily forgot to breathe. I forgot to breathe. Although he had long known of Zaratul's return since he was the one who began the chain reaction by opening the door of the Foggy Town, he never expected the big shot to secretly leave the cathedral. His whereabouts becoming unknown. Okay, so now we have Zaratul in the picture. Rhodes in the picture. Not. We have Zaratul in the picture. Amon is in the picture. And Evernight is in the picture. Those are the big three people in the pictures right now. Oh, and then fucking Adam. Oh my god. There's so many people in the picture right now. What's gonna happen, man? It's like, I don't know where the series goes from here, dude. Even if Rhodes is unable to locate him, what is he plotting? The more Klein thought, the more a chill ran down his spine, ran down his back. Having becoming a Sequence 4 demigod, he can confirm one thing. His control over the mysterious world above the Great Fog was still insufficient. He could temporarily only converge the leaking specialness that it had augmented him within the real world, making it difficult for Beyonders with the corresponding pathways to see it. But it was unable to repress the law of Beyonder characteristics of convergence, so people could still be drawn to him. As for the Great Fog, it had proven time and time again that he had an invisible form of attraction towards Beyonders of the Seer, Apprentice, and Marauder pathway. Yeah, dude. Amongst them, the effects of the Seer pathway was most evident. Besides, I myself am quite an attractive Sequence 4. Klein just called himself attractive. Yeah, you can say he's attractive. Yeah, he's a good-looking lad. I myself am quite an attractive Sequence 4 bizarre sorcerer. It's not impossible for Zaratul to suddenly come to Backland one day. Maybe he coincidentally comes. Klein maintained a deadpan expression and said to the full-body mirror that was switching scenes, got it. Rhodes presented another scene which Klein was equally familiar with. It was the Antigonus family treasure trove at the peak of the Hornicus Mountain Range. Below this scene, silver words quickly surfaced once again. Great Master, there's another possibility, but I can't tell you. I just know that it's easier. I just know that it's easier than the first two. Why can't he tell us? The Antigone family's notebook isn't there this time. That's right. It will lead the wielder to the main peak of the Hornicus Mountain Range to seek out the Antigonus family treasure trove. It's basically the same as the previous option. What's the possibility that even a Rhodes can't tell? Based on what I know about the factions in control of the Seer pathway, it's implying that I should pray to the goddess for it. Why not? The goddess is the mother of concealment, so she can choose whether a Rhodes can see it or not. Klein's thoughts scattered as he quickly made a connection. Oh, so she's purposely concealing from Rhodes, and that's why he can't tell him. But it's easy. You just pray to her, and she'll give it to you. Of course, he didn't believe that directly praying for the scholar of your potion formula would allow him to get it. It was too ridiculous, as though it was child's play. I feel like this can work. If he had a ridiculous smile at the end of book 1, I feel like he can obtain Scholar of Yore in a ridiculous way, as though it was child's play. For his experience as a Nighthawk, he suspected he might need to make enough contributions before he could attain the Scholar of Yore potion formula for the Evernight goddess via ritual. Making enough contributions, this sure is a familiar phrase. Klein sighed as he began having some ideas. Clearly, he had hints on how to do so, handle the artificial death faction of the numinous Episcopate. Eating popcorn over here. However, Klein suspected that the goddess only had the Scholar of Yore sequence for the Seer pathway potion formulas and not the subsequent ones at the angel level. This was because the Antigonus family angel didn't perish immediately back then, but had hidden in a secret palace, losing control to become a monster and was in a half-sealed state. In addition, the Fool card was also there and hadn't been retrieved yet. At this moment, Klein had the intention of asking about Amon's avatar, but he suddenly recalled that within the memories of the rat demigod, the warning about the Marauder Pathway Angel and Amon had been given by this very mirror. As his thoughts flashed through his mind, Klein narrowed his eyes, looking up at the full-body mirror and nodded. Alright, that is it for today. Head back. If there's anything in the future, I'll summon you again. Yes, Master. Goodbye, Master. Your loyal and humble servant, the Rhodes, is constantly waiting for you to return to your side. He's constantly waiting to return to your side. Huh. Light gathered on the mirror surface, depicting a stick figure waving its hand. After everything returned to normal, Klein turned around and picked up the paper with his previously drawn symbol. With a snap of his fingers, he made it burst into scarlet flames. The ash floated down as he spread open his left hand. In it, there were 2 maggots shimmering with solid, mysterious symbols. The 2 maggots squirmed gently, using their life force to fill the entire bedroom with madness and bizarreness. At the JoJo's bizarreness, okay? I understood that reference. I'm going to lower the volume down just a smidge for me, and I'll raise it up for you guys just a little bit more. I think we're good. Just a little bit. Okay. The 2 maggots squirmed gently, using their life force to fill the entire bedroom with madness and bizarreness. The surrounding lights then dimmed and brightened from time to time in a non-uniform fashion. They were none other than the worms of spirit which Klein had separated for himself. Suddenly, Klein reached out of his right palm, suddenly pressing them towards the transparent maggots. Instantly, his palm paused, just short of touching the worms of the spirit. He raised his palm again, lowering it only to pause. He repeated this several times until he finally exerted his strength with a deadpan expression. Amidst an invisible and illusory crack sounds, his head suddenly felt a stabbing pain. This made his soul feel like it was being ripped apart. It was even more painful than encountering a gunshot or a slash wound. Really? Do you think Evernight would accept the first edition Charizard for Sequence 3 Potion? Wait, what? First edition Charizard. You know what, man? I had one back in the day. I'm not even fucking kidding. I had a first edition holographic Charizard. And I'll never forget it, man. It was wild. It was the... I wish, man. That was generational wealth right there if I took good condition of it. It was even more painful than encountering a gunshot or slash wound. And Klein used his clown powers to conceal the twitching of his facial muscles. After a few seconds, he raised his right hand to rub his temples. Inwardly, he mumbled, "Indeed, the death of the Evernight worms of the spirit deal damage to the spirit world body. My current limit is 6. Huh? I'll temporarily stop trying. Let's see how long it takes to recover." Thankfully, a good deal. No, I think it's a good deal. I would do it. It's like, shit, man, that's like 200k right there. That's like 100,000 gold right there. This is a tolerable matter. Otherwise, it would be dangerous if a marionette is destroyed while the worm of spirit isn't able to be collected and do... Oh, because it affect his... Yeah, it would like fracture his spirit. Isn't able to be collected in time due to an intense battle. Yes, it's different from Amon's Worms of Time's avatar. A bizarre sorcerer worm spirit will not necessarily die when a marionette is destroyed, so it remains and lingers there. Most of the time, a bizarre sorcerer is able to retrieve them in time. It's because the distance between the body and the marionette is in doubt exaggerated. After confirming the situation, waiting for the beyonder characteristics containing within the worm of the spirit to return to himself, Klein rummaged for some materials and set up a ritual to pray to the fool. After a series of tasks, Klein used the carcasses of the 2 worms of spirit, 2 silver plates, and the complicated symbol which he had previously recorded down to make 2 silver black bullets, of which the latter came from the Snake of Mercury, Will Ossiton. The 2 bullets were carved with strange, indescribable patterns. They kept extending inwardly as though they were coming together in the middle at one point. Their entire bodies were gloomy, but not dark. Just one look at it made one's thoughts sluggish. Klein flicked a gold coin and used divination, together with his spiritual intuition, to swiftly determine the ability of the 2 bullets. The target would immediately enter a state of paralysis upon being hit. The length of time that one was left in the state depended on the potency of one's spirit body. Even Sequence 3 Saints would be in a state of stiffness for a second or 2. This already exceeds my powers. Of course, the premise is that contact can be made. Oh, this is a result of the Grey Fog's augmentation. The 2 bullets should be at the same level as the Fate Siphon Charms. Although my Worms of the Spirit can be compared to Amon and Palatzerod's Worms of Time, the amount of powers I can now draw from the mysterious space above the Grey Fog is clearly superior to what I could do in the past. True. I mean, he's a demigod, so he'd have greater control. I shall call them Control Spirit Bullets. Wait. Control Spirit Bullets? Wait, let me reread this again. Of course, the premise is that the contact can be made. This already exceeds wait, what? Although my Worms of Spirit can be compared to Amon and Palatzerod's Worms of Time. No, he's not at that level, but they are stronger. The amount of power that I can now draw from the mysterious space above the Grey Fog is clearly superior to what I can do in the past. I shall call them Control Spirit Bullets. Okay. I thought actual bullets, but no, he's like controlling spirit bullets. Okay. Klein drew Death Knell from his underarm holster, snapped open the cylinder wheel, and stuffed 2 silver black Control Spirit bullets. This is crazy. So now Death Knell is even stronger. and stuffed 2 silver black control spirit bullets inside. Following that, he spread open a piece of paper beside an altar and wrote, "Next, your mission is to seek out relatively high-level charms and beyonder bullets. May God be with you. XXX control spirit bullets. If you get shot with a bullet, your spirit body is frozen, which stuns you." Oh, so your spirit body gets frozen. Okay, I thought he's able to, like, fracture the spirit body. Kind of like how his gets fractured if he, like, loses, like, a worm of spirit. Okay, but he can just freeze it for a few seconds. Okay. That's sick, dude. XXX, who raised 3 requests from you. This letter was written to Patriarch Brian of the Numinous Episcopate's Artificial Death Faction. With his subordinate at my disposal, who can let him go? Why let him go to waste? As Klein mumbled, he folded the letter. At the altar from before, he summoned Patrick Brian's messenger. The surface of the desk burst into pitch-black flames and quickly gathered together, forming a translucent bird with dark feathers. The spirit-world creature glanced at Klein before slowly lowering its head to bite an envelope. Watching it disappear, Klein nodded silently and inwardly muttered, Patrick's contract companion isn't of a low level either. He quickly reined in his thoughts, took out another letter, and fluidly wrote, "I have already obtained the blessings of concealment. You can attempt to gather the item at the Marauder Pathway, demigod level. In addition, I found... because of the lobby under characteristics, we gotta draw him in. I found a way to crack the theft and replacement of destiny. You don't have to be too anxious. Do you know how to create a darkness that includes a temporary dream world?" Dang, it's gonna be good. "If you have the time, can you head to Tinkin and help me use 30782 to create flaring sun bullets?" Oh shit, we're gonna use the flaring sun charm to wait. So we're using the flaring sun charm that has the actual blood of the eternal blazing sun, and then we're gonna create mutated suns. We're gonna create what? Flaring sun bullets. The mutated sun sacred emblem has the divine blood of the eternal blazing sun hidden in it. Only by sufficiently raising your strength can we be even more confident at dealing with Amon's avatar. Bro, that's sick. Okay, prelude. I'm sorry, this is hype. The prelude? Now we're getting into the prelude. Okay, chapter 994 is called Prelude. Let's go. Let's go. 42 minutes. 000. Bruh, I was making lunch and he had some other YouTuber talking theories of all time. The video ended to you talking about soul damage type in my volume 2 though. LMAO? Really? Vibe? And since the stun is on the spirit body level, you can't even think, I'm pretty sure. Prelude. Just a little lewd. Prelude. Good morning, bro. Yeah, good morning, Kenji. Long time no see. Good morning to you, my friend. All right, next chapter. Chapter 994, Prelude. At 7 Pincer Street, Leonard, who had specifically returned home to participate in a tarot gathering, was just about to head to St. Selma Cathedral basement to read the dossier so as to make preparations for his placating of souls at night. When his vision suddenly went into blur, he saw the messenger in a dark, full-body dressed holster, 4 blonde, red-eyed head. As he saw Azure, he could already see such creatures with spirit bodies. After taking Klein's letter, Leonard didn't even have the chance to say thank you when Renette Tinker turned around and walked into the void. She didn't even stay for long. Old man, why does Klein have a messenger of this level? Shh, don't worry about it, dude. Is this a perk of being a best? Is this a perk of being a blessed? Leonard couldn't help but ask Palazaros with a suppressed voice. He originally fantasized that it was standard for every Terror Club member, but he later realized that he had been imagining things. Palazaros' slightly edgy voice chuckled immediately. It is likely to solely belong to Klein Moretti. Everyone receives some special fortuitous encounter. Isn't that the case? It's like, so Leonard's fortuitous encounter was running into Palaz, right? Isn't it the same even for a fellow like you, huh? I thought you would use Incomplete Angel to describe her, but you ended up using Messenger of this level. Not bad, you still remember my warning. Leonard curled the corners of his lips, spread open the piece of paper, and read the content on it. He's indeed the blessed of concealment and fate. So now he's a blessed of Evernight and the Fool. Okay. Palazaras quickly scanned and headed through the Leonard's eyes. Dossier? Dossier, set of documents or a topic. Thank you, username. Fucking English, am I right? It literally reads like dossier. He is collecting blessings. He's collecting blessings like freaking infinity stones, man. Blame the French for that word? I shall blame the French every time I can't pronounce an English word. Dos. One more time. Dossier. Dossier. Indeed. Okay. Dossier. Okay. Leonardo didn't look at the ground. Instead, he took a few steps back and threw himself into the embrace of the sofa before saying, Klein can see through the theft and replacement of destiny. Then we do not need to rush to seek out the items at the Marauder Pathway demigod level. Even if you were in a hurry, you have no idea where to seek them out. Palaz scoffed. Always blamed the French. Palaz scoffed. I lost my place, so I blamed the French. Even for the gatherings of the Hermits of the Faith, similar items needed years to appear even once. And the next gathering was to happen at the end of the year. Leonardo was momentarily lost for words and could only cast his gaze at the last two paragraphs. After a brief silence, he chuckled. I've been curious as to where Klein received the high-level charm of the Sun Domain when facing Magoose. Wait, it's not Magoose. I'll just say Magoose. It's been so long, I'm going to keep saying Magoose. If it's Magos, which I think it is, I'm going to say Magoose. And, you know, Magoose has been with us for so long, it's just, I can't change it, you know? Sun Domain when facing Magoose. I thought it was provided to him by the Deaf Council, but I couldn't understand why a Deaf Domain Angel would be gathering a high-level charm of the Sun Domain. Wouldn't that be unaliving? Now I finally understand. Old man, I wielded 30782 before as well. Why didn't you notice that there was a drop of eternal blazing sun's divine blood hidden in that? If you could have stolen some of its power back then, things wouldn't have happened. He would have probably been able to save someone. Leonardo originally wanted to mock Old Man, but as he went on, he fell silent. Palazra said in his mind, if that drop of divine blood could be so easily be discovered by mutated sun's sacred emblem, wouldn't have been in Tingen. Leonardo fell silent for a few seconds before asking, then how am I to create an opportunity to get the sacred emblem to create the flaring sun charm? Although Klein had made it sound simple in his letter, Leonardo knew that it wasn't an easy task. This was because he had a Nighthawk. Because he wasn't a Nighthawk of Tingen City. Even if he returned to visit his former colleagues and teammates, oh, we're gonna go visit them? Roseanne, Seekatron? Really? He had no authority to enter Channon's Gate. Fuck, he can't go in. Upon hearing his question, Balazraz replied in a peeved manner, why are you asking me something as trivial as this? Can't you think for yourself trivial? Leonardo coughed uncomfortably as he began thinking seriously to seek out a solution. I'm currently working alone, but the Archbishop had given me the authority to get help with the local Nighthawks in a region in question. If all the souls in Backland have been placated, and if I haven't finished digesting my potion, wouldn't I have to do it at another diocese? When that happens, if Tingen happens to have a paranormal accident, it would be very reasonable for me to return and get 2 Nighthawks and use 30782. After Leonard finished muttering to himself, Palazraz chuckled. Not bad. You came up with an idea so quickly. He's like, oh, look at you being a main character. But have you thought about it? You are placating them, not purifying them. This is contradictory with obtaining 30782. It will be easily incur suspicion. Leonard, who had been praised, merely laughed. Oh man, that's because you aren't aware. Back when I joined the Nighthawks team, there was only one line of the education I received. Only under the premise of having the ability to purify can placating achieve the best results. Emperor Result had also once said that to solve problems you need a stick in one hand and a carrot in another. What the fuck? Stick in one and carrot in another. Palazras immediately tisk. Then follow your plan. Of course, that's assuming that you can finish Anthony Stevens' mission in a week or 2. If you haven't obtained the Sunflare bullets before the actual operation of eliminating Amon begins, then it would no longer be necessary. It's gonna be a badass fight. Leonard recalled the list of missions written on the pieces of paper as his forehead twitched. He then forced himself to forget about his worries and mumbled, I wonder when the mission to punish the Sanguine will begin. I wonder if the Sanguine had a sealed artifact at the Marauder Pathway demigod level. Most likely. Probably. Yes. Temporarily, Dreamworld, I can create it myself. I'll find a chance to make some charms, but the power at this level can be able to resist the corrosion of the darkness in the Forsaken Lands of Gods. An apartment in Sherwood Borough, Force took out a novel, sat on the sofa, and watched Shio walk towards the lobby as she wore her boots to head out. Finally, Force couldn't hold back her puzzlement as she said, there's no rush. The gentleman said that he wouldn't assign the mission that quickly. Shio shot a glance and said, I'm a bounty hunter and I have other missions. Upon saying that, she paused and said after some deliberation, Force, do you think that Miss Justice resembles Miss Audrey? Forrest was taken aback for a few seconds before she snapped back to senses. She subconsciously waved her hand and chuckled. How is that possible? Just as she said that, the similarities began flashing through her mind, her eyes wide in response. After all, she whispered, it's not impossible. Spectator Pathway Psychology Alchemist, noble lady, blonde hair and green eyes. She's the only noble I know that meets those criteria. Spectator pathway psychology alchemist, noble lady, blonde hair and green eyes. Audrey? She's the only noble I know that meets the criteria. Of course, I don't know that many nobles. Furthermore, I have no idea if the ones I'm familiar with have anything to do with the psychology alchemist. She was silently listening to her friend and said after some thought, Forge, do you remember the mission assigned to us by Miss Audrey? I originally thought that it was issued by Earl Hall, but on second thought, perhaps it came from the Terry Gathering. Also, how do we know of Mr. Fool's honorific name? Do you remember? It was from the books we borrowed from Viscount Glint. In the book covered by a strange ancient slip, Forge nodded in enlightenment. If we could discover it, as good friend of Viscount Glint, Miss Audrey had a chance of discovering it as well. She's the one that slipped it in, dude. This can explain why she joined the gathering. Yeah, she agreed with Force's guess. They're close, but almost close. Force opened her mouth and was just about to say something when she recalled the matter with the Sanguine wasn't completely over. She immediately looked around worriedly and said, Shio, we should lessen our discussions of the gatherings in the future. As for Miss Audrey, we can visit her once every week or two. We can continue to observe when the time comes. She was snapped to her senses and nodded heavily. All right. She then opened her door and went to a particular bar in the East Bar and sat by the bar counter. Rapping on the table, she said to the bartender who looked up, any new missions today? The bartender gave a list without mentioning an investigation to particular Miss Ernie Bars. By the way, how do you pronounce placate? Oh, it's placate. Yes, placate. Sorry, it's placate. Yeah, we did talk about that. Placate. Indeed, I'll have to wait till tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Shio looked around, retracted her gaze, and asked in puzzlement and concern, I haven't seen Sherman in a while. Do you know where she's been? Where he's been? Sherman. I don't remember Sherman. I asked because I noticed Easy says it with an S. Yeah, it's placate, right? It just, the C looks like a... Bruh, it's placate. She looked around, retracted her gaze, and asked in puzzlement and concern, I haven't seen Sherman in a while. Do you know where he's been? Sherman was a young man who thought of himself as a woman, one of Shio's informants. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember him now. I remember him now. The bartender chuckled. Perhaps he ran off with some man. You do know that he's happy to do so if a man fancies him. Yeah, okay, I remember that. She was like, oh, is he gay? And they're like, yeah, he's gay. This isn't something worth ostracizing him about. No. Shio rebutted seriously, feeling a baffling sense of concern. She then exerted strength in her palm and jumped off the high stool, prepared to seek out Sherman in the places he was usually seen. Backland Bridge area, Iron Gate Street, Braveheart's bar. Holding down his hat, Emlyn pinched his nose as he passed through the crowd that exuded all kinds of smells before finding the red eye. Ian in the card room. Mr. White, what is it this time? Ian smiled as he led Emlyn into an empty billiard room. Emlyn took off his hat and quipped something trivial. Help me put up a mission to the bounty hunters. The details for the mission is to track a man named Ernie's Boyer, figure out his daily activities. The bounty reward would be £100. 100 pounds, Ian subconsciously asked. For investigations like tracking 100 pounds was quite a ridiculous reward. One had to know that if a bounty hunter was able to complete the mission on their own, they could rest for an entire year, even if they were supported by a family. Emlyn nodded. The target is rather dangerous. Where are we going to find? After the discussion back with the Tarek Club, he had already thought it through. He believed that tracking Ernie Borders... He believed that tracking Ernie Borders was an easy mission. The Sanguine Viscount would definitely pretend as though he didn't notice anything and deliberately follow a fixed tragedy. Therefore, this £100 was in fact payment for misjudgment to take the risk of participating in the operations. Of course, to aid in the misdirection and concealment, it was almost certain that more than one bounty hunter would complete this mission, allowing them to earn different portions of the reward. All Emlyn could guarantee was that misjudgment would earn the most. I see. Coming to an understanding, Ian extended his right hand. Down payment, exact address, level of danger, look for characteristics. It's best if you have a portrait. Emlyn then gave £30 in cash and Ernie Boyer's portrait. Red eyes, Ian flipped through the pieces of paper in his hand and couldn't help but blurt out, yes. Emlyn nodded gently and looked around him. He suppressed his voice and said, there's also something else. Help me seek out clues regarding the Rose School of Thought members in Backland. Rose School of Thought. Ian was taken aback as he asked in puzzlement as though he had never heard of the name. Next chapter. Mr. White, yo, IDKYC comes easy for me most of the time, but I get why it can be very confusing. Yeah, sometimes. But chapter 995, Conjured Person. 995. I think this is a good pace so far. 1 hour and we're starting our 5th chapter. Good pace. I think this is a good pace. And we're 53 minutes into the recording. And I'm not speed reading today. I'm trying to read at a moderate pace. I'm trying to slow it down and digest what I'm reading. So I think this is good right now. If I space out my coffee, so after I hit the gym, I have my when I have my breakfast, I have my little protein shake that has about 1 cup of caffeine in it. And when I spread my cup of coffee throughout the day, I can finish it like around noon or 2 p.m. and I'm good. And then you aren't slow. Yeah, and it's good. I'm not slow. I'm just reading at a moderate pace. I know I can read faster, but I don't want to read too fast. I don't and then not digest, because I've done that in the past and it's not good. When I do that, we're reading and not reading. But I think this is good so far. And look at that. I'm so proud of myself today. I spaced out all my caffeine today. I had my granola bar before I started streaming. I haven't even eaten yet, and I'm good. I'm awake. I'm not even hungry. I think I'm gonna be able to do only 2 meals a day. I'm gonna get rice and chicken after stream before I hang out with the missus. Before we play some video games, we're gonna be playing The Last of Us, and I think we're pretty good so far. I think I'm good. We're on track to getting a fucking 6-pack. So next year, I'm planning to be I'm bald, so I'm gonna have to get like a blue wig. Next year, I plan to do like sexy Olger at Anime Expo. Remember the tortoise wins. Yes, remember the tortoise. What the fuck? Remember the tortoise wins the ways. I know that. I know that. Chapter 995 is called Conjured Person. Emlyn glanced at Ian. Did we do our timestamp? Did we update? Yes. Emlyn glanced at Based Easy. You know it, bro. We're going to do spicy summer wear Olger for Anime Expo next year. JoJo cosplay incoming. We're gonna figure it out. Emily glanced at Ian, raised his hand to pinch his nose, and chuckled. It appears you don't understand me. It's okay. A more simple description is to gather information about foreigners that comes from the southern continent, especially from the Star Highlands and the Pas River Valley. What information do you want exactly? There are plenty of pure-blooded people from the southern continent and the backland. Those that you've mentioned are also common. Ian calmly asked without flaring up due to the contempt he had received. Emlyn laughed. The ones that are a bit more abnormal. Yo, JoJo is good. I haven't finished part 6, but JoJo is good. They do things in a fishy manner and seem to all be mysterious. You should understand what I'm getting at. There are definitely many people who describe in Backland that are either servant workers or thieves, being part of the gangs, as the latter will all meet your criteria of being abnormal. Fishy mysterious, Ian sincerely pointed out how unpragmatic Emlyn's request was. Emlyn was already prepared for this. With an unoblivious smile, he nodded slightly. Then give me all the information that meets the criteria. I'll do the filtering. Oh, I'll pay you £50 as down payment for the commission. As the standard fees for the early stage investigations, the subsequent payment will be counted based on how much information and value is provided. Each one will cost £20. Who was the one to determine its worth? Ian asked after a few seconds of thought. For him, having £50 income for preliminary work like this was enough for him to accept the job. It was more of enough to hire a dozen people or so to investigate the areas for Eastport to Sherwood Bore for half a month. For lore accurate, Olger, how good horrid can you sing? Pretty bad. You know what? I've been singing some Linkin Park in the car. Pretty good. So I'll purposely sing bad when we get to that point. He didn't mind how much he could earn from the £50, and there were many people who here relied on him for their survival. He needed to arrange jobs with payments from time to time, otherwise he would never be able to be kept abreast with the latest developments. Emlyn sized up Ian and scoffed. Of course it will be me. You should know how trustworthy I am. Detective Moriarty never told me that. Ian mumbled and sighed. All right, our last cooperation was still pretty good. I choose to trust you. Emlyn nodded in satisfaction, took out a wallet, and counted another £50 worth of notes. During this process, Emlyn momentarily felt the pinch when he realized he only had 400 only. We've come such a long way. In Volume 1, when they're like, £100 for info, I'm like, damn, that's cheap. When he realized he only had £407 in savings, and now there's only £357. He looked away for the notes and handed the cash to Ian. He didn't stay. Putting on his hat, he walked out of the billiard room and left Braveheart's bar. On the street, Emlyn stopped pinching his nose and looked up at the flame like clouds. His expression gradually felt heavy as he fell silent, muttered, "That rave from before isn't around. Where did it go?" Humph. Ian acted as though he had never heard the Rose School of Thought, but his racing heart had betrayed him. Also, he actually didn't ask if Sherlock Moriarty is back in Backland. He didn't even show any concerns. Could it be that Sherlock had already returned to Backland and that he had already met him? Maybe. Roasted Archipelago, City of Generosity, Bayam. In an area near the harbor, Admiral Star's cat Leah had brought along Frank Lee, who had his sleeves rolled up, which revealed his brown hair, to an area outside of a house with gas wall lamps. They came to an empty corner and watched as a figure appeared out of the shadows. It was a bloodless Heathdoll who was in charge of monitoring artisan Sealf. Sylph. He was thin and his skin was so pale that it was transparent. He looked so frail that a gust of wind could topple him. Did anything strange happen recently? Cattleya nudged gold-rimmed glasses on her nose. Heath Doyle tearfully acknowledged. 3 days after he left, a strange visited Sylph. He stayed for about 15 minutes. I didn't approach for fear of being discovered. Based on your instructions, I sent men to tell the stranger, but they lost his trail. What did the stranger look like? Cattleya asked with a slight nod. Heath Doyle took out a piece of raw beef from a leather pouch by his waist. The blood on the remained fresh. The blood on it remained fresh, but it didn't show any signs of contamination. It appeared to be a pure piece of solid meat. Okay, so we're good so far. Right on the heels of that, the piece of beef melted in Heath Doyle's hand, dripping to the ground like water. Then they squirmed like they had live drawing a portrait. Ew, this is the effect I want. Frank Lee's eyes shimmered as he watched the scene, express his intentions with excitement. Under his gaze, Heath Doyle had the intention to run, but he silently slanted his body and pointed to the ground. Roughly like this, at this moment, a blonde portrait had already taken form. It was that of a man with a mustache with facial features that resembled the past River Valley. His greatest characteristic was that 3-eared studs on both of his ears. Golden ear studs, thin body, not much fat, very athletic, Heath Doyle added. Cattleya retracted her gaze from the ground and asked, and then? Heath Doyle tearfully acknowledged. No one visited Sylph, and after that, other than his temporary servants and chief he hired. I got men to investigate them. They are clean. Sylph had an evening stroll at a fixed time every day. He will bring a worker prostitute home, allowing her to leave only at daybreak. I've been constantly tailing him, but I never discovered any contact with odd people. He had been acting very normally all this time. Cattleya asked with a frown. From her point of view, not having any abnormalities made it most abnormal. After all, this involved rose-colored thought members that believed in Primordial Moon. Heath Doyle nodded in affirmation. Yes. Cattleya turned her head to look up at the building's main door and said after some thought, I actually plan on using Beyond Our Powers to infiltrate and bring Sylph under control in the fastest speed possible before taking him away to prevent any accidents. But from the looks of it, the best solution is to knock on the door. Unknown danger was what terrified people the most. At the thought, he had been busy with the experiments recently and hadn't done his duty as first mate. Frankly, hurriedly said, Captain, I'll go with you. Cattleya took off her thick glasses and hung them by her waist of her back warlock robe before nodding. Okay. Proswa, yeah, what username said. With that said, she left the shadowy corner and walked towards. I'm sorry, I just sometimes there's some words I don't say for just for the video's sake, just so it's not unmonetized or it's like restricted. With that said, which is weird, like you can't use words that are sexual in nature, but like you can talk about like blood and gore. It's weird how YouTube works. Just weird. With that said, she left the shadowy corners and walked towards the main door of Sylph's residence. As she approached, she looked up at the crimson moon that could be seen penetrating through the clouds. She curled her fingers and tapped thrice on the door. Before long, footsteps approached at the door, creaked open. Sylph didn't show any obvious changes from the previous time. He remained thin and dark. His eyes were somewhat puffy, and his brown eyes were trying hard to force a smile. Admiral, is there something this time? He stood by the door, blocking the gas wall lamp's light behind him, and made the area appear dark and gloomy as though it was sinking into the shadows. Cattleya stared at him for a few seconds before saying slowly, I have an idea. I plan on making you a part of my crew. She stood there motionlessly without any intention of stepping inside. Sylph's expression warped as his voice turned somewhat dark. Why? Cattleya's eyes seemed to freeze as she slowly said, because I'm a pirate? That's funny. Arg, isn't that for the first minute of the video? Oh, in general, I've had some videos in the past, even after I swear, they get restricted. And I'm pretty sure it's because of other words I'm saying. I don't know, man. Because now that doesn't happen within the first minute. You can use strong profanity in the first minute and you're good. So I don't know, like if it's not to profanity, it has to be other words. Sylph facial muscles twitch. Wait, I'm a pirate. Because I'm a pirate. Pirates didn't need reasons. They did whatever they did out of their own desires. Sylph's facial muscles twitched as the smile suffused his eyes once again. I can be your sailor, but as an artisan. I'll be of much greater use in the city. I agree. Cattleya destroyed his resistance, but before then, I need to spend some time in the future to be partners with ours. I have no idea anymore about YouTube TOS. You can curse, but maybe not curse consecutively. Maybe S themes get demonetized. I think that's what it is, Mech. Yeah, I think sexual themes are the ones that get picked up. Yeah, but like strong profanity is okay now. Seal's expression gradually turned. I'm gonna skip this song because the Klee song is kind of like boss music, so we'll go to Aline. Seal's expression gradually turned cold as he replied with an ethereal voice. I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself. I have a strong urge to procreate every day. Damn, what the fuck? Strong urge to procreate. Frank Lee's eyes lit up as he asked, seemingly in confirmation. Seal was taken aback as he wasn't sure whether to nod or shake his head. Is this part of his... I don't know. Is this part of like a pathway? Frank then looked at Ketlia and asked Simon, Captain, is he going to be my assistant for my experiments? Oh, I love this trait of his. No, what the fuck, Frank? What the fuck? What is going on here? Whoa, is he implying... Why doesn't... Wait, hold up. Is Frank Lee implying himself or is he implying his experiments? It's part of his corruption? Captain, is he going to be my assistant for my experiments? I love this trait of his. Catlia fell silent. Oh, because his mushrooms like to procreate. Wait, okay, that makes sense. Oh, that's weird. What? I love this trait of his. Catlia fell silent for a few seconds before nodding heavily. Yes. What the fuck? Frank immediately revealed a bright smile and offered his right hand to Artisan Seal. Pleasure to meet you. Let me introduce myself. First Mayor of the Future, Frank Lee. Nice to meet you. Seal's expression returned to normal as he shook the man's hand with puzzlement. Then he said, am I really going to spend a short period of time on the future? I guarantee it will be my reputation on the line. Catlia sincerely replied before inwardly adding, it wouldn't take long before Her Majesty personally handles you. Oh, man. I feel bad for him, man. I pray to whatever he believes in. I wish him nothing but good luck. As he walked, we're going to have like baby junior Seals in a few days. In the shape of mushrooms. As he walked, he suddenly paused and said in an ethereal tone to Catlia and Frankly, today's moonlight is as beautiful as it's always been, isn't it? Without receiving a reply, he proceeded forward and vanished without the staircase. At this moment, Catlia heaved. Heavy expression became obvious. After Seulf opened her door, she had already noticed an abnormality within her eyes. In the past, Seulf's spirit body was of an ordinary person, but now he was a conjured person? A conjured person. Under the illumination of the moonlight, this conjured person was being nourished and was rapidly growing stronger. He's growing stronger and being nourished. This isn't a problem I can resolve. I have to write to Her Majesty. Also, I mustn't forget Grimsbrother's request for a meeting. Catlia sighed silently as she subconsciously looked up. High in the sky, a crimson moon remained bright and silent amidst these clouds. Amidst the thin clouds, Backlund Hilsenborough, East Balm Military Veterans Mess. That's a mouthful. Dwayne Dantes and Match got off their separate carriages and entered the lobby together. Chapter 996. We still have about... In 25 minutes, I'm going to call the misses. I'm going to see if... I think I am going to have to end stream in 25 minutes. A little bit more. So we can still knock out 2 more chapters. My goal is to do next stream 999. Start from 999 or start from 1,000 on. I think that's the plan. Start from 1,000 on. Chapter 999. Whew, that's the goal. 996. Timestamp? 1 hour. 5 minutes. 24 seconds. Next one. Chapter 996 is called Card Game. We're gonna play. Are we playing Gwen or what? Because if we're playing Gwen in this game, shit, it's gonna be badass. I started replaying Witcher 3 and I was just playing Gwent. I played Gwent for like a good hour. And I'm like, this is fun, man. After entering the East Balham Military Veterans Mess, Klein handed his cane and hat to his valet. In Nui, only to see Colonel Calvin of the Lowing Kingdom's Ministry of Defense wearing an army uniform, waiting at the floor with a glass of red wine in hand. This long-faced officer smiled as he raised his cup at Dwayne Dantes. Long time no see. It really has been a while. Klein smiled as he walked over. Colonel Calvin immediately offered his right hand. Congratulations, you did pretty well. Everyone was very pleased. I was very pleased as well. Klein used a low-styled euphemism to express his pleasure in cooperating. He then shook hands with him. Oh, is this the chapter I was waiting for? Really? It's gonna be. Are we reading a funny chapter? Bet. Calvin retracted his arm and glanced at Mosh before he said with a laughing sigh, "Back when you first introduced Dwayne, I was quite distrustful of your judgment, but now I understand how you're a member of parliament. Anyone who interacts with Dwayne can easily tell that he's an expert at this." Mosh accepted the colonel's probation with the same low-installed euphemism. Calvin retracted his gaze, sipped some red wine, and smiled at Dwayne Dantes, asking and passing, "How much did you earn this time?" "Don't worry, I won't raise prices in the future because of it. I'm simply curious." 20,000 pounds in gold. Klein gave the midpoint value of an answer. Ooh, okay. I scrolled down too much. Okay. In actual fact, he had earned 25,000 pounds. But after paying Miss Messenger 10,000 pounds for her services, he had only earned 15,000 pounds. That's still a lot of money. Calvin nodded. "Not bad. If you need to convert those gold bars into gold coins, I can introduce you to someone from an Imperial Mint factory." "How was it? How did you notice anything abnormal around May Sanchez's area?" Klein said directly without thinking, "Yes. There was a place called Revival Square under his control that was destroyed by lightning. That I'm aware of." Calvin replied with a rather heavy expression, "But you probably do not know that the person before you was the one who created the lightning." Klein smiled and then said, "Also, May Sanchez seems to be maintaining a fragile balance among many factions, but in actual fact, he was already secretly aligned himself with a particular faction. Of course, I'm not exactly sure who it is. He had no intention of betraying the Church of the God of Knowledge and Wisdom. All he did was divulge a little to win the trust of the low-end military. The only thing that can be considered is that it isn't us." Calvin nodded and said with a deep look in his eyes, "It's unlikely to be Intus." Klein helped him eliminate one of the wrong choices. Calvin tersely acknowledged, "This isn't a bad thing either. The few factions surrounding May Sanchez are supported by Intus. If he wishes to expand, there's no way he can circumvent them. When the time comes, perhaps we will have some more arms sales in our hands." With that said, he offered a toast. Euphemism. Indirect term. No, I know what's a euphemism. It's like an indirect term for something you don't want to talk about. Thank you. It's like an euphemism. It's like an allegory, you know? Here. Actually, no. One sec. Let me fix my fan because it's hot. One sec. Give me a sec. There's 31 of you guys here. Holy shit, man. Thank you guys. Damn, there's a lot of you guys today. Holy shit, man. Thank you. All right. Holy fucking Lord of Storms. Let me find my place. Fuck. Shit. We've been reading for 3 minutes. So in 3 minutes, we most likely read 1, 2, 3. Lose money. Klein sized up Calvin as he curled the ends of it. Is that the last thing we read? Lose money. Klein sized up Calvin as he curled the ends. Yeah, right. I think that was it. Wait, well, man, I lost my place. I'm sorry. Calvin's expression turned solemn as he said, "He is a given post currently in administrative defense." Admiral Maris, the admiral whose younger brother was stripped of his post as governor general. Here, we're good right here. We're good right here. I found my place. You stopped while reading words, so all you gotta do is find the words, and that's probably where you stopped. True. I need to start highlighting. Yes, thank you, Smokey. I'm gonna start highlighting the words when I stand up, so you won't lose it. Yeah. Well, we're gonna do it right here. Wait, you know what? Let's just redo this page. Holy Lord of Storms to riches everyone. As believers of the Evernight Goddess, Klein and Mott smiled in response without giving an indirect answer. After taking another sip of red wine, Calvin pointed to the second floor. "Dwayne, I brought you here today to play. To play cards with a VIP." Okay, I was at the top of this page. Texas Hold'em. Which VIP? Klein asked with piqued interest. Calvin's expression turned solemnly as he said with an unobvious smile, "Admiral Ramirez, he had given a post and is currently in charge of administrative defense. Admiral Ramirez, the admiral whose younger brother was stripped of his post as governor general, had his mistress corrupted by the military." Oh, okay, that one. Admiral Ramirez. And we haven't seen him in a while. "Corrupted by the mother tree of desire and ended up losing his post as the highest commander of the Central Sonia Seas Navy. I've worked with him before and even pretended to hire him for some time. Indeed, when it comes to a demigod, as long as they didn't screw up too badly. And if they are willing to hold it in, they will always be able to step out of the nadir. Nadir. That's a weird word. Nadir. Let me look up what's nadir. The lowest point in the fortunes of a person or organizations. Oh, they will always be able to step out of the. So they will always be able to step out of their lowest points. Klein recalled everything that had happened in the Ravi Island, turning wistful towards Admiral Mears's Riv dealt. He still felt some guilt towards him. Although most of what had happened back then didn't have anything to do with him, his mistress's anomaly was ultimately a result of the Mother Teresa's wish to control him. This is to say that our future cooperation requires his excellent approval. Klein asked in alignment. That's how it is. Calvin nodded and pointed up the stairs. Let's head on up. When arrival of the second floor, they stopped in front of a pair of dark red double doors. Calvin turned his head and glanced at Dwayne Dantes. Your mission today is to lose money. Lose money. Klein sized up Calvin as he curled the ends of his mouth. No? Was it streaming too now? I think he was going to start streaming right now. I'll try my best. By the side, Mach said with a laugh. There's actually no need to be too deliberate. Admiral Mears had excellent card-playing skills. It's almost impossible if you wish to win any money. Huh, I always lose. Sigh, I just hope I won't lose too much money. Otherwise, I wouldn't even dare to return home. Klein nodded thoughtfully. I only brought 200 pounds in cash. Would that be enough? Definitely not. Calvin chuckled. I've already changed chips worth 1,000 pounds for you. Just remember to return it. Lowen's best lawyers only earn about 1,000 pounds a year on the surface. You bunch of prolific gates. Klein sized up Calvin again. This colonel didn't notice it as he knocked on the door. After all, as the double door creaked open, revealing the scene inside, it was a hall paved with thick, soft carpets. There wasn't a lot of furniture, making it appear rather spacious. In the middle of the hall was a card table that could accommodate more than 10 people. Surrounding it were luxury-styled high-back chairs. By the sides of the hall were gold-platered cutlery, marble-carved sculptures, coffee tables with books and newspapers, and a series of leather sofas. Klein looked over and saw Amiris Revdolt sitting at the Sea of Horror. The Admiral didn't look different from before. His black hair was neatly combed backwards, but with the blue eyes dark and profound. The corners of his lips dropped slightly, and his face was clean-shaven. He had an austere. Oh no, I'm wrong. It is nadir. Profound. The corners of his lips dropped slightly as his face was clean-shaven. He had an austere temperament, and he wore dark blue clothes with an epaulet. He was meticulous in every detail, appearing extremely serious. When he swept his gaze, Klein found another familiar person. He had thick, neat, black brows with a short hair and hard crew cut of the same color. He had dark blue eyes with a high nose bridged with a bushy mustache spread out from his mouth. He had a long face with an accentuated outline as well as callous curves. He was MI9's temperature director, Conis Kilgore. Oh, Kilgore! He was one of the targets for Klein's return to Backland. He was the middleman in the dealings between the Demonist sect and the particular faction of the royal family. He was one of the accomplices of the Great Smog of Backland. This brigadier general was abnormally broad shoulders, making his white shirt and black vest abnormally tight. He was playing Texas Hold'em with great focus. There are 2, no 3 demigods at a card table. Fuck, that's scary. How can this even be played? Interesting. Klein sat down and began observing the others at the table. During this process, an attendant delivered a huge stack of chips worth a total of 1,000 pounds. In the first few rounds, Klein folded after looking. I don't even know how to play Texas Hold'em. In the first few rounds, Klein folded after looking at the cards. He acted very cautiously, acting as though he had never called or raised unless he had good cards. As for Admiral Ramirez, his style was very complete opposite of him. He was in no way conservative. He called almost every round, constantly raising it at an extremely aggressive manner. Every round that he was involved in seldom, he reached a point where everyone showed their cards. Most people failed to withstand such aggression, and with Admiral's domineering force, they would call a round or two before folding. At times, something would attempt to recall the Amiris Revdolt's bluff, only to encounter 4 9s. 4 9s? I don't know how to play this game. Well, that sounds good. If you have 4 9s, you have four of the same cards. I think that's good. The color in his face instantly drained, as though he had been passed the death verdict by the judge. Conis Kilgore had a completely different style as well. He would occasionally lose around,
but the chips lost wouldn't be much, preventing him from having too great a loss. At the next round, after his loss, he would often be able to wipe out the person who won all the chips to previous rounds. You lose some, so you gain more. Okay, smart. Forcing him to spend money to buy in again. Is Endure in need? Why are you using the powers to cheat when dealing with low and mid-sequence Beyonders, or even ordinary people? Others might not be able to tell, but would I be fooled? One that has the Arbiter Pathway's dominance, and the other has the Baron of Corruption's bribe. Klein looked at the 5 of the hearts and the 9 of clubs as he shook his head indescribably. He couldn't help but consider which powers of the Seer Pathway could provide him with help if he wanted to cheat. By the way, this might actually be our last chapter. Yeah, just since there's only 10 minutes left in stream. I mean, there's only 10 minutes until it's been 2 hours. Yeah, I'm sorry I was late. I had to freaking lose an earbud today. It took so long to track this shit down, man. Unfortunately, there aren't any mosquitoes here. Otherwise, I can use their spirit body threads and turn them into marionettes to help me check. This is so crazy, dude. You can, like, possess a mosquito, and then with the mosquito spirit body threads, you take control of them as a marionette, and then you can, like, fucking cheat. That's crazy, dude. But don't worry, we'll be live again. Fuck, we might not be live tomorrow. It'll be a late stream. It will be a late stream. Faceless only allows me to change myself, not the cards. Magician's Illusion. Well, I might be able to stream early for like an hour, and then I'll come back. Magician's Illusions. The effects would likely be pretty good when playing with ordinary people or low to mid-sequence Beyonders. But there are 2 demigods here. Use a clown's ability to swap cards is useless. The dealing and shuffling of cards are done by the croupier? Croupier. I've never said this word in my life. Croupier.
The dealing and shuffling of cards are done by the croupier.
Croupier. Okay. Croupier. As his thoughts raced, Klein realized that apparently only his powers this year was of use here. Yeah. He threw out his whole cards to indicate a fold before taking out a middle chip and allowing it to move between the fingers. At this moment, Amir's Rivdelt suddenly looked up at him and retracted his hands before pushing all the chips in his hand. Indeed, Klein nodded inwardly without a hint of surprise. During his last cooperation, he knew that Admiral Amiris was able to distinguish ordinary people from Beyonders. From his position, he suspected that he could even determine the Beyonders level, or in other words, their position. Okay? However, Klein wasn't too worried because a bizarre sorcerer had consummate powers to a certain degree. This was also why he could converge the augmented effects of the Grey Fog on him after he reached Sequence 4. This made him confident that Amiris wouldn't be able to determine his level. However, he didn't attempt any corresponding interference as he suspected that Amiris was able to tell that he was a Beyonder. Therefore, he decided to reveal a tiny problem, making it easy to be seen through and be grasped. So he purposely reveals just a little bit. Apparently, it's a synonym for dealer. I said synonym. I said cinnamon. It's synonym. Okay. It's synonym for dealer. Awesome. So why not just say dealer? I guess it's not necessarily a dealer in this world. Okay. Therefore, he decided to reveal a tiny problem, making it easy to be seen through and be grasped. All right. Tomorrow, we're going to be reading Gambling God. That sounds like a funny chapter. Okay. Let's do our timestamps. By the way, before I end stream, just so I'm tempted to look it up, but is there any artwork on the lady on what the fuck was her name? A good chapter name? It sounds like a good chapter. What was her name? Ada something. The woman we saw. One fucking shit. Short-term memory. I forgot her name. It starts with A. Gambling. all of us gotcha players are gonna be loving that chapter. I'm fucking ready. Let's do overall thoughts so I don't forget. Can't wait for Easy to read the poker game for the gods. I'm fucking I'm pumped. I'm pumped. All right. The first search result says Corpier is more concentrated on money while dealer on the game. Well, here, let's do this. 982. Oh, wow. I can't even open up the tab that lists everything. That's crazy. We have every chapter right here. That's wild, man. That's fucking crazy. I sent Ariana artwork. Ah, God bless you. Really? Okay. Open up. Let me open up Discord. All right, hold up. Let's go into art domain and let's look at artwork before we end stream. Do I click on the spoiler? Can you raid on YouTube? Wiz is live right now. Let me see if I can raid. There's actually no. You can raid on YouTube, but we are gonna end stream. Oh, that's her. Okay. Nope. Yeah, no. But I know you can raid. Dude, one time I got raided on Twitch with like 300 people. That shit was fucking crazy. I was playing Fate Grand Order, and I got raided. That was so fucking cool and humbling. I'm like, holy shit, this guy raided me. That was so badass. Okay, no, we didn't have to look at that. Okay, so that was her. Okay, got it. Got it. Thank you, man. Damn, I should have recognized her description then. Okay. All right. Well, let's do overall thoughts. I should have recognized Ariana's description since she appeared at the end of Volume 4. Wait, I'm sorry. So Ariana's artwork is the Angel 0017? No, that's different. Is this the one you sent? That's Lady Ariana? But the artwork you guys sent for Ariana, wait, hold up. So the artwork you guys said for Ariana looks like, it's different? Oh, it is different. Because I used that thumbnail before. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Well, let's see, screen 1. Let me fix this. Okay, so that's not her. One sec. Cricket. Oh, so I thought this was 017 that, Evernight possessed. So it's not. So it's not her? Okay. Oh, it's kind of hard to fit all this right here. Okay, so that's not her. They are the same sequence, so it makes sense. Just the one I sent is different. Oh. Oh, look at the flower. I feel like I'm playing Nier Automata, man. We're looking at all the beautiful flowers at the end. Well, not at the end. Well, no spoilers. We read when she arrived in the city. They're the same sequence, so it makes sense. Nope. Who would want raid? Ariana is covered in stuff and barefoot. No? Yeah, she's barefoot right here. And covered in flowers? Well, we'll leave it there. Okay. I just use this as the artwork for Ariana since this is like official. You can see her feet. That's how you know it's her. If you see feet, it's Ariana. All right. Well, I had a fun, amazing stream with you guys. I know in the last 7 days or in the last week or two, we haven't been reading as much as when we read the ending of Volume 4. Don't worry. Once we set some time aside, we will be reading a lot. As of right now, I am busy either Saturday or Sunday. One day. There's one day where I'm pretty busy, so the other day I should be clear to stream a little bit longer. I'm not sure yet, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But until then, I'll let you guys know. You guys have a beautiful day. Have an amazing day. I'm hyped to see that we fucking got a response, by the way, from the Evernight Goddess. It wasn't Mommy Evernight directly, but Ariana, right? Technically, she responded indirectly for her. But I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm fucking excited to see this Amon fight that's already been set up. We read a chapter called Prelude, so I feel like this is all the prelude for the big fight. Volume 4 was too fast. You can ask Wiz. He will tell you not to rush Volume 5. Oh, don't rush 5? Ooh, shit. So you're saying we got to savor this volume. Okay, we'll be done next year. Fucking kidding. We won't be done next year. We'll be done in a few weeks. Well, we should definitely be done by next month. Half glass, half full. If we're reading 20, 40, 60, 80, ooh, I'm thinking a week. If we're reading 20 a week, maybe 30 a week. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 5 weeks. If we can read 30 chapters a week, we should hopefully be done by next month. 5 weeks. And then if on the weekends we do like 30 chapters in a day on top of what we read on the weekdays, I think we should be able to be done in like 4 to 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. So we should be done with the volume sometime next month. Okay, so we should be done with volume 5, hopefully around the time of the Dunhua's ending. roughly. If there's 4 episodes left, 4 weeks, I think that's I think so. I'm feeling confident. We should be done around that time. I think we'll be good. All right, guys. Peace. Have a beautiful, loving day to all these beautiful readers in chat, and I will see you guys all next week. Wiz is live. Go show him some love. Tell him to slow down. All right. Tell him he doesn't need a race. What happened to 10 chapters a day easy? I know. I'm sorry. I haven't had that much time, Richie. I want to read more. But I just like I have so much to do off stream, and it's like I wish I had more time to read with you guys. I'm sorry. It's just like this is all I can do right now live, like 2 hours. I'm sorry, guys. And then it's like I can't stream later at night because I'm trying to have a really good sleep schedule. I'm trying to stick to my sleep schedule so I can be consistent with gym, fitness. So look, guys. At the end of the day, it's gonna work out. We're gonna do a spicy, sexy summer Olger cosplay with our fucking 6-pack next year. Look, we're halfway there. Look. We're halfway there to our 3-pack. Look, we have a 3-pack so far. Look. I want to show you guys how we're halfway to our 3-pack. Look, 1, 2, 3. Look, we're almost there. We got the shoulders, right? We got the shoulders. We got a little bit of a muffin top, but we got a little bit of a chest. But we still got the pecs. No, we got the deltoids. We got the triceps. Our baby triceps are starting to pop out just a little bit. Like we're getting there. This is gonna take a while, but don't forget, it's just like I'm doing it like I'm trying to stick to like a sleeping schedule, because if I stream later, yeah, I can read more, but it's gonna ruin like the whole it's gonna ruin my whole schedule, man. And like I'm trying to at least be consistent. I'm trying to have like some consistency when it comes to scheduling what I can, so we're all good. But you guys have, I'm sorry if that sounds mean. I hope it doesn't sound mean. Like I want to read more, just I can't. But I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I love you all. I apologize if I'm a little slow right now. But peace. Have a beautiful day. Go tell Wiz I said what's up. I clearly can't join the stream, but tell him to take his time. Somebody said it earlier. The tortoise wins the race. All right? Tell him to take his time. Tell him to take a vacation. Tell him to take like a family trip. Tell him to go like take a cruise ship or something. You know? Tell him to chill. Not streaming is a hobby for you, not your job. Thank you for saying that, Mick. But yeah, I do like reading with you guys. It's still fun. Like I enjoy it. But yes, right now it is just a hobby. It'd be badass if we do this as a full-time thing, you know, like art. Like it'd be cool if we can replace our 9 to 5 with this as our 9 to 5. That would be awesome, right? Like we switched 9 to 5 for this being our 9 to 5, but like it'll be a while before we get to that point. Knock on wood, you know. Hopefully rather sooner rather than later. But until then, peace. Have a beautiful day, and I should see you guys tomorrow. I have something to do tomorrow, but I think we might be able to squeeze it in. If only thousands of people were interested in the book reading. Bro, if there was like thousands of people interested in book reading, fuck yeah, man. There's like 1,000 people watching it live. Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. I quit on the spot. But you guys have a beautiful day. I'll see you guys soon. All right. Later, guys. Wait. I'll ask you guys on Twitter. No, we're good. I'll ask you guys on Discord. It's cool. I'll ask you guys on Discord. We'll talk right now. I need help with some clown makeup. If you guys are watching, I've taken screenshots of the end credits when he's wearing clown makeup. Just I don't know if that's the clown makeup he wears for episode 13, or if somebody actually has a face of his. If somebody actually has a picture of his makeup during the final episode, send it my way so we can like see, right? So we can like see the makeup. Probably not the whole thing in the frame, just so we're not spoiled. But if you guys just have like just the face part, or maybe like a shot where he doesn't reveal like the smile, because apparently the episodes are out. Let me know on Jenna right now. I'll talk to you guys right now. Peace. Later, guys. Thank you for cropping.